Imagine buying a stock while it was still bleeding red, down more than a quarter of its value this year, and then watching it quietly climb almost 50% in just a few weeks while nobody was paying attention. That is exactly what has been happening with one of the most popular online retailers in America right now, and by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why the smart money is starting to circle back in. If you are someone who likes finding real value before the crowd catches on, hit that subscribe button right now, because on Tickerhawk we break down opportunities like this every single week, and you do not want to miss the next one landing in your feed. Today we are talking about Chewy, the online pet retailer that practically every dog and cat owner in this country has heard of, if not actually used at some point. Shares of Chewy were down more than 27% earlier this year, and honestly, a lot of investors quietly wrote it off as just another struggling e-commerce name burning through cash with no real path forward. But something changed. Back in the middle of June, this stock was trading around $17 a share, sitting near multi-year lows and barely making headlines. Fast forward to right now, and it is sitting above $24. That is not a small move. That is close to a 40% jump in a matter of weeks. That is the kind of run that makes people sit up and start asking questions they probably should have asked months earlier. So let us actually dig into why this happened, and more importantly, whether there is still meaningful room left to run from here, or whether this is just a short-term bounce that fades out. Before we go further, if you are new to this channel, drop a comment and let me know what stock you want us to cover next, because your suggestions genuinely shape what we research and cover on this channel every week. Now, let us talk about the bigger picture first, because Chewy is not just riding some random rally that happened to catch a wave of momentum traders. There is a real structural story sitting underneath this business, one that has been building quietly for years. Pet ownership in America has completely changed over the last couple of decades. People used to treat pets as, well, pets, animals that lived in the backyard or slept by the door. Now they're treated like actual family members, sleeping in beds, eating specialty diets, getting regular vet checkups, and even going to daycare while their owners are at work. That shift, often called the humanization of pets, means owners are spending significantly more on food, healthcare, grooming, toys, and specialty products than they ever did 10 or 20 years ago. And when people start treating their pets like children, they simply do not cut corners on spending, even when the broader economy gets a little shaky or headlines start talking about inflation and rate hikes. That is an incredibly powerful, almost recession-resistant tailwind for any company sitting in this space, and Chewy sits right in the middle of it, benefiting from that shift every single quarter. On top of that, think about plain old convenience for a second. Nobody really wants to lug 40-pound bags of dog food out of a crowded store anymore when it can just show up at their doorstep on a schedule they set once and then forget about entirely. Online pet retail simply makes sense in a world where people are busier than ever. And Chewy has built its entire business model around exploiting that convenience factor better than almost anyone else in the category. But here is the part that really separates Chewy from a typical retailer, and this is genuinely important, so stay with me for a second. Over 80% of Chewy's total sales come from recurring, subscription-style revenue through its auto-ship program. That is an enormous number if you think about it. Most retail businesses have absolutely no idea what a customer is going to buy next month, next quarter, or next year. Chewy, on the other hand, often knows exactly what a customer needs, when they need it, and where it needs to be delivered, sometimes weeks in advance. That predictability is not just convenient for the customer, it is a massive operational advantage for the company itself. It means less wasted inventory sitting in warehouses, more efficient distribution networks, tighter supply chain planning, and a business that is not constantly guessing what demand is going to look like next month. If you are enjoying this breakdown so far, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more investors like you who are looking for these kinds of overlooked opportunities. Now let us actually talk numbers, because a good story only matters if the financials back it up in the real world. Over the trailing 12 months, Chewy pulled in $12.8 billion in total revenue. 3 years ago, that number was closer to $11 billion. That is steady, consistent, unglamorous growth in a business that a lot of people assumed had already matured and hit a ceiling. But revenue growth alone does not tell the whole story here, not even close. What is far more impressive is what has happened to profitability over that same stretch of time. This is a genuinely capital-heavy business to run. Chewy operates its own logistics and fulfillment centers across the country, and that kind of infrastructure is not cheap to build or maintain. Back in 2019, the company was posting an operating margin of negative 15%. That is a business bleeding money just to keep the lights on and ship boxes out the door. Fast forward to today, and that operating margin has completely flipped to a positive 2.58%. Now, on the surface, that might not sound like a massive number, but when you understand exactly where this company came from, that is a genuinely dramatic turnaround over less than a decade. Management figured out how to automate operations, tighten up logistics, reduce waste, and run this business far more efficiently than most analysts expected just a few years ago. And they managed to pull this off while navigating one of the strangest, most unpredictable stretches in modern retail history, the pandemic years. Chewy absolutely thrived when people were stuck at home with their pets and shifting spending online almost overnight, but instead of assuming that boom would simply last forever, management stayed disciplined and did not overextend the business chasing short-term demand. Then, when the world reopened and competitors came roaring back into the picture, along with completely different consumer habits and shopping patterns, Chewy adjusted again instead of getting caught flat-footed like so many other pandemic winners did. Handling both sides of that cycle well is honestly rare in corporate America, and it says a great deal about the discipline of the people actually running this company day to day. If you have been following this channel for a while, you already know I personally care more about management execution than flashy headlines or hype cycles. And this is a textbook example of exactly why that matters so much when you are picking stocks for the long haul. Now here's a number that I personally think gets overlooked way too often by casual investors. And it happens to be one of my favorite ways to judge whether a management team is actually creating real value or just burning cash to look busy on paper. It is called return on invested capital. And I like to compare it directly against something called the weighted average cost of capital. Think of it this way. If a company borrows money or raises capital at a certain cost, and then reinvests that money back into the business, you want to see that investment generate a return that is meaningfully higher than what it actually cost to raise that capital in the first place. Otherwise, the company is essentially destroying value every time it spends a dollar. For Chewy, the weighted average cost of capital comes out to around 12.82% based on my own calculations. Meanwhile, the return on invested capital is sitting at 26.25%. Do the simple math on that, and you land on roughly a 2-to-1 ratio. In plain, everyday terms, for every dollar of cost tied to the capital Chewy is using in its business, it is generating about $2 of actual return. That is an excellent number for any company to post, but it is especially impressive for one that most analysts still consider to be in its earlier growth phase. Typically, I like to see a ratio of at least 1-to-1 for mature, well-established companies that have already reached scale. I am a little more forgiving for younger, faster-growing businesses that are still investing heavily to expand. Chewy is technically still relatively early in its overall growth curve, and it is already blowing past that benchmark most companies twice its size would struggle to hit. That tells you management is not just growing revenue for the sake of growing revenue on a slide deck. They are actually deploying investor capital intelligently and getting real returns for it. All right, quick pause here. If this kind of breakdown is genuinely helpful to you, go ahead and share it with someone you know who is trying to get serious about investing this year. It really does help this channel grow and keeps content like this coming week after week. Now let us talk about valuation, because none of these fundamentals actually matter if you end up overpaying for the stock at the wrong price. Right now, Chewy is trading at a forward price to earnings ratio of about 13. That is near the lowest level this stock has traded at in several years, even after this recent bounce off its lows. For a company that is still expanding its footprint, still gaining operational leverage year after year, and still building out its scale advantages in a category that keeps growing, that is a surprisingly cheap price tag to pay for this kind of business quality. When you run a discounted cash flow model on this business, factoring in its projected growth trajectory, ongoing margin expansion, and improving cash generation, the fair value estimate comes out to around $33 a share. Right now, you can still buy shares for a little over $24. That is a meaningful gap between where the stock sits today and what the underlying business may actually be worth once the market fully catches on. Now, to be completely clear here, no valuation model is ever perfect, and markets can absolutely stay irrational for a lot longer than any of us would like, sometimes for years at a time. So this is not a guarantee of quick gains. But when you combine a genuinely discounted valuation with steadily improving margins, an overwhelming amount of recurring revenue, and a management team with a proven track record of navigating some genuinely difficult years, that combination is absolutely worth paying close attention to as a long-term investor. This is not some speculative meme stock riding a wave of social media hype with no earnings behind it. This is a real business with real cash flow, millions of loyal repeat customers, and a genuine competitive advantage in a category that is not going anywhere anytime soon. People are not going to suddenly stop owning pets, and pet owners are not going to stop spending money on them. If anything, that trend keeps accelerating generation after generation as younger households increasingly treat pets as core members of the family. It is also worth mentioning that this industry still has plenty of competition, from big box retailers expanding their own online pet offerings to smaller subscription startups trying to carve out a niche. So this is not a business operating in a vacuum without any risk. But Chewy's scale, its logistics network, and its recurring revenue base give it a real structural moat that newer players simply cannot replicate overnight, no matter how much venture funding they raise. Think about the sheer complexity of what this company has built. You need warehouses positioned strategically across the country so that a bag of dog food or a bottle of flea medication can reach a customer's front door in a day or two, not a week. You need relationships with thousands of suppliers ranging from massive pet food manufacturers to small specialty brands. You need a customer service operation that people actually trust when their pet is sick and they need advice fast. And Chewy has leaned into that trust factor in a way that has quietly built enormous brand loyalty over the years. That kind of infrastructure and reputation takes a decade or more to build properly, and it is not something a competitor can simply copy by throwing money at the problem. When you also consider that management has been rewarding shareholders through buybacks as free cash flow has strengthened, it paints a picture of a company that is finally maturing into a disciplined, shareholder-friendly operator, rather than a cash-burning growth story chasing market share at any cost. That maturity is exactly what tends to get rewarded by the market once enough quarters go by and skeptical investors start to notice the trend line instead of dismissing the stock based on its rocky history from a few years ago. So when you put it all together, a company benefiting from a long-term cultural shift toward pet spending that shows no signs of slowing down, a highly convenient online business model built for how people actually shop today, an overwhelming majority of recurring subscription revenue, dramatically improving operating margins after years of losses, a management team that has proven it can handle both boom times and genuinely turbulent times without losing discipline, a return on invested capital that comfortably crushes its cost of capital, and a valuation that still looks historically cheap even after this recent rally off the lows. That is the kind of setup long-term investors dream about stumbling onto before the rest of the market fully wakes up to it. Of course, nothing in the stock market is ever guaranteed, and past performance from any management team never promises future results, so please, always do your own research and think carefully about your own personal risk tolerance before putting real money into any single position, no matter how good the story sounds in a video like this one. But based on everything we just walked through together, this looks like a name genuinely worth keeping on your radar going forward. And for patient investors who are willing to hold through some short-term volatility along the way, it may still represent an attractive entry point even after this recent bounce off its lows earlier in the year. If you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you are subscribed so you catch our next deep dive the very moment it drops. Drop a comment down below telling me whether you already own this stock, or if you are seriously considering starting a position after watching this. And go ahead and share this video with a friend or family member who is still sitting on the sidelines trying to figure out where to put their hard-earned money this year. That is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and we will see you in the next video right here on Tickerhawk.